Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to my channel, Running with Scissors. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I have so much I want to show you and tell you. Stay tuned. Well, I didn't have a video last week because I had so much on my plate. Birthdays, the Quilt and Sewing Expo, lots of stuff. So let's go ahead and start with the Expo. I had never been to the Quilt and Sewing Expo before. I knew about it, but I'd never been. Well, yet I'm a member of the American Sewing Guild, and my chapter had a booth there. What we had was members of our chapter gave items that they had made for display. And if you look at this next picture, you'll see that little pink dress. I made that dress a couple of Easters ago for one of my granddaughters. And they put it on a little mannequin and they put a little purse on it. So we had quite a few items there, even on a rack, so people could see what kind of sewing our chapter of the American Sewing Guild does. So we did that. I also have a little video I want to show you. I just took a little walk around to show you some kinds of things that were there. So let me put that up right now. You did notice there was some fabric there. I will tell you, I didn't buy any, and that's a story for a little bit later. Well, I actually did a 2-hour stint in the in our booth. We all took turns kind of manning the booth, and I'll show you a picture. We had something called a make and take, and they were making little eyeglass covers, and so we had a couple of people doing that as well. And there were other booths that did that too, had different kind of make and takes. So it was fun. We got to meet a whole lot of people. Plus, we had a clipboard, and we had people give us their names and their email if they lived in the area and might be interested in joining our chapter of the American Sewing Guild. And they had quite a few names. And so we're going to be sending out emails to them telling us, where we meet, what time, that kind of thing. So now let's talk about the classes. They do have lots and lots of classes that you can take. I took 2 classes. The first class I took, let me show you the brochure. The first class I took was to make a couple of bags, and they were made on a serger. Now, I don't really like making bags on a serger, but they have a lot of representatives there from the different sewing machine companies, and of course they want to sell you, something. And I was using a Juki serger, all brand new Juki sergers, and I'll show you a picture of what I was using. And the first thing we made was a 2-zip pocket bag, and there's the directions on how to make it. What was nice is everything was cut out for you. They had them in little plastic bags, and everything was cut out so you didn't have to do any cutting. So this is the first bag I made. That's the front. There's the back. And you'll see there are 2 zippers. There's one at the top. And there's the lining. And then there's one in the front. A little bag like that. Cute. reason I really don't like making them on a serger is because, you know, when you serge things, you've got those tails that you have to tuck. Whereas you make it on your sewing machine, you can you know, backstitch. She also had little kits that you could buy for $5 to make a smaller version of this bag, and I bought one. And I chose this one. Let me show you the back. It's got sewing supplies on it. You see scissors and yarn and pins and buttons. It's the same thing. There's a little pocket in the front and then a pocket there. So I brought this home and made it. I made this on, actually I made this on my sewing machine. As I said, I prefer to make it on the sewing machine, not the serger. Okay. Now, the next bag we made was called a triple zip bag. There's a story behind this bag. I'm not a bag maker. I mean, I make clothes. So I'll show you the bag. It's really cute. It's got faux leather here, and the straps are faux leather. And it's a really cute bag, but the story behind this bag is, as I said, I don't really make bags. And you who do make bags know that when it comes time to sew up the sides, when, you know, it's inside out, you open the zipper about halfway to make sure the zipper pull is inside the bag. Well, I know you're probably already guessed what I did. You know, you have, the zippers are longer, so they're sticking out on both sides. And, well, I sewed up the bag with the zipper pull over here. Now, if I had found my mistake before I cut, I could have just, you know, picked it, you know, unpicked it, and then, you know, push the zipper pull in the inside. I didn't do that. I cut it off both sides. So when I turned the bag, I had this really pretty bag, but no way of opening the bag. I was just beside myself. You feel so stupid. I should know better. I think part of it is, I don't think I sew well in a big group. There's like 20 people in this group, and you're trying to keep up and listen to the directions and all. And yeah, I did it. So I think a couple people said, well, you could just pull it apart and maybe add a pull. I didn't see that happening for me. So what I did was I bought 3 new zippers, and then I unpicked the whole bag from, you know, now I had not put this on yet. This had not been, well, this part, these two little, right here had been put on, but not the actual strap. I took it home and I unpicked it all the way. And then I've got, you know, 3 new zippers. And this time when it came time to sew it, I made sure that I had opened the zippers halfway so that the zipper pulls were inside the bag. So tell me if you've made that mistake before. Surely I'm not the only one who's boo-booed on that. But like I said, I picked it apart, and I did sew it on my sewing machine, not the serger. And I think it's really cute. I'll probably give it to one of the granddaughters. It's this kind of a small bag, and it is awfully cute. So 3 zippers, and then of course there's one up on the top. Very cute. So yeah, you do something like that and you just feel like, I knew better. What was I thinking? So, well, the next day I made another bag, and it's called a Voyager faux train case. She calls it faux because it's not exactly a train case. I don't know. She has a YouTube channel. It's called Sew, S-E-W, Sew Mini Creations, and I will put a link to it in the description box. So it's like a little makeup case, little train case. Okay. This one has a story too. Well, here it is. It's pretty cute. It's made of cork. And then you unzip it. Now the inside is made of a waterproof fabric. So you have a little waterproof lining like that. Well, let's talk about this. This was sewn on a $6,000 FOF machine. Of course, they're trying to sell them to you. And if you bought one there with their representatives, you can get it for $4,000. Let me just tell you about the machine first. I didn't think it sewed any better than my little brother I got from Walmart. But it did have some features I really liked. My favorite feature was the drop-down walking foot. That was great because I have a walking foot for my brother, but of course you have to take off the, take off the foot, and then put on the walking foot. And it takes a few minutes. It's not that big a deal, but it's nice just to flip the little lever and down comes your walking foot. And we did use that because you're sewing through some thick layers. I like that. I like the fact that the foot pedal was bigger. My foot pedal for my brother's, like this, and this was like a big, wide, square one. I really like that. Another thing I liked is if you're putting something under the machine and you've got you've got both your hands and you're holding it in place, you don't want to let go and, hit the switch or hit the lever or whatever to put the foot down. In this case, you've got it under, you're holding it under, and then when you press the foot pedal, it goes down. Your foot pedal or your foot goes down automatically. On my brother, if I try and sew when the foot's up, it hollers at me that I need to put the foot up or put the foot down. That I liked. And there was a couple of other little bells and whistles I liked about it, but I'm ready to dish out $4,000 for a new machine. My brother's doing good for me. So anyway, back to the bag. I had some issues also with the machine. For some reason, 5 different times the thread came out of my needle. The first couple of times, they had a FOF representative there, and she come and she rethreaded it for me. It threads pretty similar to most machines, but I watched how she threaded it. The first time she rethreaded it for me, I sewed a seam, and I turned it over, and the back was all wonky, and she had threaded it wrong. And so she unpicked it for me, because it was her fault. Anyway, she unpicked it for me. Anyway, 5 different times I'm sewing along, and the thread came out of the needle. That got me behind. And so it was getting frustrating, really frustrating. And next thing you know, people are turning their bags inside out. They call it birthing. Oh, they're birthing their bags. And so there was a couple of ladies that got done a half an hour to 45 minutes early, got their bags done, and off they went. Well, I got behind, and by the time the 3 hours was up, I was still working on it. I was almost done. And I want to tell you, I'm glad I was the last one there and nobody was there, because when I turned my bag, I'd have been embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I turned my bag. And see how the handle, this is the top of the bag? My handle was here and here. I somehow put the end on the bottom and I had it on the side. It was hanging like this. I was so upset. I mean, really upset. I'd planned on taking my bag up to the exhibition hall and show some of my friends there, at our little booth. I was so humiliated. I stuck all my stuff in my little shopping bag, and I got in the car and I went home. I know that maybe sounds silly, but I was so upset with myself. I got in the car and said, "This is why I sew clothes. I can't do bags." I was beside myself. So I got home, and I thought, well, maybe I can do what I did with the other one, unpick it. And so I'm trying to unpick the one that was over here. And somehow, don't ask me how I did it, I started unpicking over here where the zipper is. Oh, and the zipper they had us put on it was a 2-pull zipper. The pulls are in the middle, and you can pull it, side to side. And somehow I unpicked where the zipper was and lost the pull. I tried to get it back on. I could not get it back on. And after some time of picking and trying to get it back on, I wadded this up and I put it in the trash can. I did, in the trash. I said, I can't do it. It can't be done. I can't do it. So there it sat in my trash can for a day and a half. And I think I redid this one after this fiasco. I went ahead and redid this one. And when that one came out pretty good, then I thought, got to give it a try. I pulled it out of the trash. I unpicked it entirely. And then of course, I bought a new zipper. I bought the zipper from Walmart, actually. And I bought this cute little zipper pull. Now, she doesn't have the written directions. She's got that she's got that YouTube channel. So I got on her channel and I followed her directions step by step by step. And I put this thing together. And there you go. And I do. I like it. But this just goes to prove that sometimes things can be fixed. Sometimes, you know, you've sewn where you've made a mistake and you can't fix it. You have to start over again. I was able to fix this bag, and it's okay. Maybe I'll do another one. I don't know. But making 2 mistakes like that, just, I don't know. I was pretty upset with myself, to tell you the truth, but they got done. I kind of pulled up my big girl panties and I picked them and I redid them and I got them done. So let me know, have you had any of those type of snafus, especially bag making? So I'm happy with what I did. I'm happy I stuck with it and I went ahead and unpicked it and got it done. But there was a few tears shed. I was so aggravated, but that's how my sewing expo went. I didn't stay for all of it. Next year in October, when they have it again, I want to maybe take more classes and stay longer, because at the end of each day around 5:30, they have a drawing. You put your little ticket in a little bin and they have a drawing, but you had to be present to win. And one of the ladies in my chapter in my American Sewing Guild won a sewing machine, a FAF, is it FAF or FOF? Sewing machine. I don't know what brand it was. I'm not what brand. I don't know what kind of FOF it was. I doubt seriously it was that $6,000 when she won. But anyway, she did win a sewing machine. So I thought, well, next time I'm going to have to go ahead and hang around, get my ticket in, and maybe I'll win something. You never know. So, but I did have a good time at this. I look forward to going back again. Okay, let's talk about birthdays. Our family has 3 birthdays in October. My son-in-law had a birthday. My mother had the big birthday, and I mentioned that to you in my last video, that we had family members come up. We had, I think, 20 people at my daughter's house. My sister lives in Mississippi. You've met her before. She came up with her younger daughter, husband, and 2 children. My sister's other daughter lives in Chattanooga, and she came up with her husband and her daughter. And of course, both my son and daughter all live in the area, and then my mother. And yeah, we had a nice big birthday party for her, took family pictures. I'll show you a picture of my mother with my sister and me, and a picture of her with her cake. So yeah, it was very nice. I got my mother a Kindle. She loves to read, go to the library, and I have a Kindle, so does my daughter, and we love them. So I actually went over yesterday and got it set up for her. And you know, she already had a Libby account, and you have to have an Amazon account, because Libby or the Kindle goes through Amazon, but the Libby goes through your public library. And so I showed her how to use it, how to get a book. She likes to read historical fiction, so she found a book that she thought sounded interesting, and we went ahead and loaded that onto her Kindle and said she was going to read it and see how she liked it. What's great about this is you can, the brightness, you can make it as bright as you want. You can make it more yellow, you know, like more warm, mellow, or you can brighten it up. And also, too, you can make the font really big. You can make it so big that it practically only has a few sentences on the page, or as small as you want. And so that was really nice. And I like reading in bed because you don't have to have the light on, because it's nice and bright. And then when you're ready to go to bed, you just close it and go to bed. So I got her that. Also, it was my oldest granddaughter's birthday. She just turned 18. I'm going to show you a picture of her. Her dad took this picture. He is not a professional photographer, but I told him he could be. He just has a really good eye. People go and spend thousands of dollars on these pictures, and they went to this really pretty park with lots of flowers and water features and whatnot. And he took some really beautiful pictures of her. So that's Claire. You've met Claire before because I helped her make that top. And so she's 18. Okay. Oh, one thing I want to mention, I forgot to mention this. Let's go backtrack to the sewing exposition. I made a list of things I want to talk about, and it never fails. I leave something out, but I just remembered I did meet one of my subscribers. She lives in Northern Kentucky, and she had told me that she was going to be there and she would look me up, and she did. Her name is Diane. I'm putting a picture of the 2 of us together, but she came by my Sewing Guild's booth and looked me up, and there she is. She's a great subscriber. She comments. She's also a member of my private Running with Scissors Facebook group, And if you're interested in that, you can hit the link to it, ask to be a member. And that way you can share whatever you make with the rest of the members of my group. I've got close to 70 members now. I can't remember the exact number, like 68, I think. And if you want to share something you've made, you can put it on there, and just only the members of the group will see it as a private group. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? We'll check my list to make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about. You know, I do like to paint. I've been really lax on my painting. I really need to set up a schedule and say, I'm going to paint on this day every week and make myself do it. Well, I've been following the art Sherpa. Her name is Cinnamon Cooney, and I've talked about her before. Well, she passed away suddenly last December. Her family has kept her YouTube channel active, so you can go and watch any of her tutorials. And she's had quite a many number of years. I don't remember when she started, but we can still go in and use her tutorials. Well, her family decided to auction off some of her original paintings, the ones that she's actually done on the tutorials. In the first two auctions, I didn't really look at or get involved in, but then they came out and said they were having a third auction. So I thought, maybe I'll look into it. And I think they had 14 of her paintings up for auction. And I looked through them, and this one absolutely caught my eye. There was one I liked. It was like a little mouse on top of a dandelion. The one, you know, where the dandelion goes to fluff, you know, white fluff. And it was pretty cute. But when I came across this one picture of a woman in a red dress walking through some poppies, I thought, this is the one. They had a starting bid of $250. And they wanted you to increase the bid by $10. So someone had put in $250. So then I put in $260. And then somebody else put in $270. And then I put in $280. Now, it started on a Thursday. And all weekend, my bid stood. My $280 bid stood. It stood. And then we get down to the end where there's only like a half an hour to 45 minutes left before the auction, the bidding close. Somebody bid $290. And I actually looked and saw this particular person had bid on 2 or 3 other paintings as well. So I went ahead and put in my $300, and I stood there watching. As the clock ticks, I'm thinking, oh, I hope this person doesn't try and outbid me. And it had to be over at 1 minute till the hour. And I waited, and finally it hit. It was supposed to be 6 o'clock or 5:59 California time, but it would have been 9 o'clock or 8:59 my time. As soon as it hit, I went, phew. And then if you look on each painting, bidding's closed. And then the moderator put a list of who had won the paintings, and there was my name by this painting. I was pretty thrilled. You did have to pay for shipping, but this painting means a lot to me. It's by a woman that I did so many paintings with. Back in April of 2020, she would always have what they call acrylic April, and I did 30 paintings. I painted every single day in April, and I've got quite a few of those still. I've given some away to family and friends. So this means a lot to me to have a painting that she painted. So let me show it to you. I am just tickled with this painting. It's even prettier. They also sent me a certificate of authenticity as well. But let me pull the painting over and let you look at it. And I'll take a picture of it and put it so you can get a better look at it. But here it is. Is that absolutely beautiful? I love it so much. Now, it didn't come with the frame. I took it over to Hobby Lobby, and I had them frame it for me. And then I put a wire. I like a wire because I think you can hang it more evenly when there's a wire. But I love it. Now, I've not done this particular painting before, but I'm thinking at some point I would like to go ahead and pull up the tutorial for this one and also paint this painting myself. Of course, it won't look anything as good or nice as hers, but I think it'd be kind of neat to go ahead and do this painting and then hang them side by side. So anyway, I was really thrilled when this came. So thrilled. And as I said, this means a lot to me to have a painting by an artist that I really thought a lot of. So, okay. Well, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you would. share it with your friends, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. I'm not sure what I'm going to be sewing next. I'll come up with something for you next week. But yeah, Christmas is coming up, and I've got things to make for Christmas. So maybe that'll be what the next video is about. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta play it by ear and go with the flow. Well, anyway, I'm so happy that you joined me today. I'll see you next time, and y'all take care. God bless. Goodbye.